Hello everyone, welcome to this video on sports psychology for BTEC. If you're not studying BTEC, maybe you're studying GCSEs or A-levels, this video might be of use to you, but it's geared very much towards the BTEC qualifications. Now I should point out, up here I've put the unit number for the BTEC level 3 in sport. That is unit 17, and over here I've put the unit number for sports science. Now if you only see this one, that means that the video is only related to the sport qualification. If you only see sports science unit 3 on a video, you know that it's only related to those of you who are studying sports science. However, in this situation here, there are both, so that means that the content of this video applies whether you are studying sport or sports science. Now, let's get cracking. We are going to have a little look and think about this word, personality, and we're going to start to consider what it means and how it impacts on sports performance. Why is it that we're so interested in someone's personality? Now, notice I've highlighted this part of the word in pink, and that is persona. Now, persona means mask. Comes from the word for mask, and it comes from the idea that we all wear a mask, or we all have a cloak that we put over ourselves to hide our true selves so that people see us differently. And that's very much in the concept of personality, and depending on which school of thought you come from as to where our personality comes from and what makes our personality would depend on whether you agree with the idea of a personality is indeed a mask. Now, there are a lot of key terms that we are going to be throwing around, and I want to make sure that you understand them. And one of them is this: theory. Now, it's important that when we talk about a theory, you know what we're talking about. We are actually talking about an idea supported by evidence. Now what this means is that somebody once had an idea about something. So it could be an idea about personality and where personality comes from and what causes it. Now, a theorist or a psychologist may have believed that he or she had an answer to the big burning question, what causes our personality, and in order to prove their idea, and I use prove in inverted commas, they had to go out and conduct research. Now, research is a study. They actually undertake experiments, not necessarily scientific experiments in the sense of the sort of things you'd be used to in school, but actually watching people, looking at how they behave and recording the results. And through that research, they gather evidence, and the more evidence they've got, the stronger the support. So they research to find support, or to refute, maybe to go against someone else's idea. And in gathering that evidence, they can come up with a supported theory. So let's have a little think about this term, personality. What does it mean? Well, I'm going to propose that a definition of personality is this: the sum of the characteristics that make a person unique. Now that's just one definition of personality. There are lots, there have been many, and it's your job to do some further reading to decide which definition of personality works best for you and how you see personality. But presuming that we have these sum of the characteristics, obviously it's important that we can recognize characteristics. I'm sure you can all do that. You can describe people in different ways in the way that they behave. So what our theories try to do is to gather all the different ideas about why people display those characteristics and to try and explain why they do that. Now if we pull this down, we are going to look at a number of different theories. Let's start off with just listing the different things we're going to look at, and then in the next video we will actually start breaking these theories down so we get a real good understanding. But let's just give ourselves a brief overview. The first are what we call trait theories, and in fact I'm actually going to draw this in a bit of a brainstorm. So theories of personality. So my first are going to be trait theories. Now, it's the belief of anyone who is a trait theorist that a trait is a innate and stable characteristic. Now, in a sense, trait theories are almost, if you like, the nature argument. That's what you might commonly hear that called when you hear about this nature versus nurture. We are talking about the nature. So this is the almost the biological explanation. So a trait theorist would believe that if my dad is aggressive, I will be. But the important thing is because I inherit that trait. So even if a child is fostered or adopted by someone other than the non-biological parents, a trait theorist might have us believe that the characteristics of the father or the mother are going to be passed down regardless of whether or not the child is brought up that way. The other view, or one of the other views, is what we call the situational approach. So these are trait approaches, if you like, or trait theories. These are situational approaches or theories, you may see them referred to. And these theorists would have us believe that we learn our characteristics, still these same sort of characteristics that we see over here, but we learn through observation. They would have us believe that maybe we model ourselves on others, and as a result our behaviour can be quickly modified. If you like, we would say that we could be trained to behave a certain way. So very different sides of the argument. Now, in the middle are another group of theorists. And these are what we call the interactional. I'll just go back and make that a little bit neater for you. The interactional theories or interactional approaches. Now, these theories and theorists would suggest that we are looking at a interaction between our innate biological persona versus our, I'll just put that in the right place. I'll change that to innate biological traits versus our upbringing, which is the nature versus nurture. So we've got on this side, over here in the green, we've got the nature argument, the biological inbuilt. Over here we've got the nurture, the way we're brought up, but our interactional theorists would suggest that it's a combination of both. Now, our job is going to be to really sort of pick this apart and try and work out which one fits best for us, which has most support, which has most evidence, but also to look at some examples to help us illustrate our point of view. And that's what we're going to start looking at in the next round of videos. Thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you again.